The story begins in the beautiful land of Oz, where everyone is celebrating because the Wicked Witch of the West is finally dead. Soon, the powerful sorceress Glinda arrives and confirms that the Wicked Witch is truly gone. A little girl then asks Glinda, was she really evil? Did she actually hurt innocent people? Glinda pauses for a moment and says, most people don't really know the answer to that question, because once upon a time, that witch was just a little girl too. She explains that the girl's father was the governor of Munchkinland. Now the movie takes us into the past. One day, while Governor Throp is away on business, his wife secretly falls in love with a traveling salesman. Later, she gives birth to a baby girl, but the child's entire body is green. The moment Governor Throp sees her, he refuses to accept her as his daughter. The baby suddenly starts crying loudly, and strange things begin happening around the room. Objects start floating into the air on their own. Seeing this, Governor Throp becomes furious and orders the baby to be taken away immediately. Then the governor's servant, Dulcibert, carries the child away and gently says, you don't need to worry anymore. From today on, I'll take care of you. And that's how the little girl gets the name Elphaba. A few years later, we see that the governor now has another daughter named Nessarose. But ever since childhood, her legs have been weak, making it difficult for her to walk. One day, Elphaba tells Nessa stories about the great Wizard of Oz. But while they're talking, a group of kids shows up and starts making fun of Elphaba because of her green skin. Nessa begins crying after seeing this. Elphaba gets extremely angry, and suddenly, the rocks lying nearby start floating in the air and attack the children. Terrified, the kids run away screaming. Right then, Governor Throp arrives, but instead of understanding what happened, he blames Elphaba for making Nessa cry and angrily scolds her again. That moment hurts Elphaba deeply. The movie then cuts back to the present. Glinda explains that Elphaba suffered a lot during her childhood and never truly received love from her family. And maybe that's what turned her into a wicked witch. But then Glinda smiles and says, none of us need to worry anymore because she's gone. After saying this, Glinda sets fire to Elphaba's statue and starts walking away. But another girl suddenly asks, is it true that you and the Wicked Witch used to be friends? Everyone around them is shocked when Glinda quietly answers, yes. She then reveals that they first met at school. Now the story takes us back once again, this time to Shiz University, a magical school where students learn sorcery and magic. Glinda arrives there as a new student, excited to learn magic and meet people just like herself. At the same time, Elphaba comes to the university to help her sister Nessa settle in. But the moment everyone sees Elphaba's green skin, the students, including Glinda, can't stop staring at her in shock. For Elphaba though, this kind of reaction is completely normal. She sarcastically says, I'm not sick, and no, I didn't eat grass as a child. I was just born green. Glinda then politely tells her, I'm sorry you've had to deal with all that your whole life. If you ever need help, you can come to me. The other students immediately start praising Glinda for being so kind, but Elphaba clearly isn't impressed by her sweet act. Meanwhile, Governor Throp gives Nessa a special pair of sparkling shoes that once belonged to her mother. Soon, all the students head toward the main quad area. Before leaving, Governor Throp tells Elphaba, you need to stay close to Nessa for a while. I'm worried about her. Don't leave her side until she settles into the university properly. Even though it hurts her, Elphaba agrees and follows everyone to the quad. There, the dean of Shiz University, Madame Morrible, welcomes all the new students and congratulates them on joining the university. The students cheer loudly and clap for her. Glinda tries to get Madame Morrible's attention, hoping to impress her, but Morrible barely notices her and simply walks away. At the same time, one of the university staff members starts separating Nessa from Elphaba. This instantly upsets Elphaba, and she tries to stop them, but suddenly, chaos erupts. Nessa's wheelchair, along with several nearby objects, begins floating high into the air. All the students are left completely shocked. Some of them even start getting scared of Elphaba. Nessa, embarrassed and angry, tells Elphaba, I finally had a chance to start over here, and you ruined everything. After saying that, she leaves. Nobody can understand how Elphaba caused all of this. That's when Madame Morrible suddenly steps in and says, magic is unpredictable. Anything can happen. Then she lies to everyone, claiming that she was actually the one who caused everything using magic herself. The students immediately start applauding her again, but by now, Morrible has already realized that Elphaba possesses extraordinary magical powers. That's why she orders Elphaba to stay in Glinda's room and takes her away personally. Morrible tells her, I want to teach you myself. You'll be my private student. No one else will be in our class. Elphaba softly replies, thank you for helping me back there, and I really appreciate your offer, but my father would never agree to this. Madame Morrible tells Elphaba, you don't need to worry about your father. I'll speak to him myself. I know you see your powers as a curse, curse, but they're not. If you learn to control them, what feels like a weakness today could become your greatest strength. As she walks through the halls singing, Morrible reveals that she's been waiting for someone like Elphaba for years. She even says that she already told the Great Wizard about her long ago. Now all you have to do is stop being afraid of your own power. After that, she leaves. Hearing the wizard's name fills Elphaba with hope. While singing to herself, she admits that ever since childhood, she's dreamed of meeting the wizard so he could change the color of her skin. She just wants to live a normal life like everyone else. And now, for the first time, she truly believes that maybe the wizard can finally change her destiny. Later, Elphaba heads to her room. There, Glinda tells her, "I know what happened in the quad wasn't Madame Morrible's doing. It was you." Then she asks, "How did you do it?" Elphaba ignores her at first, but Glinda keeps asking question after question until Elphaba finally gets irritated. Suddenly, her magic activates by accident, and the windows around them crack and shatter. Glinda jumps in shock. The next day, Elphaba and Glinda attend class with the other students. Their professor is Dr. Dillamond, a talking goat. Dr. Dillamond sadly explains that he's now the only animal professor left at Shiz University. He tells the students that long before they were born, Oz used to be very different. Back then, many animals worked as teachers across the university, but after the Great Drought, everything started changing. As he turns toward the board to continue his lecture, everyone sees a cruel message written across it. Animals should be seen, not heard. Dr. Dillamond is furious. He demands to know who wrote it, but nobody answers. He's already under a lot of stress, and in that moment, he accidentally knocks over a vase onto the floor. Clearly upset, he dismisses the class and sends all the students away. While everyone else leaves, Elphaba stays behind to help him pick up the flowers. She gently tells him, "I like poppies too." That small moment means a lot to Dr. Dillamond. Since Elphaba also lives like an outsider, he starts seeing her as someone who truly understands him. And honestly, Elphaba doesn't really have any friends either. Later that night, Dr. Dillamond is returning home when Elphaba tries talking to him, but he seems distracted and barely listens. Curious and worried, Elphaba secretly follows him all the way to his house. Inside, she discovers several animals gathered together in a secret meeting. Dr. Dillamond tells them that lately, whenever something goes wrong at Shiz, the blame is immediately placed on the animals, and if they try to speak up, they're threatened with losing their jobs. Then he reveals something even more disturbing. For the past few years, animals across Oz have slowly been losing their ability to speak, and little by little, many of them have started disappearing completely. Because of this, Dillamond believes that some kind of dangerous conspiracy is happening across Oz. Elphaba secretly overhears everything. The information shocks her so much that she suddenly feels dizzy. She accidentally makes a noise, exposing herself. Dr. Dillamond quickly brings her inside, but by then, all the other animals have already escaped. Elphaba says, "If animals are really losing their voices and leaving Oz, then we should tell the Great Wizard about this." But Dr. Dillamond immediately warns her, "You must never speak about what you saw here." Then he quietly adds, "For your own safety, forget all of it." After saying that, he sends her home. On the way back, Elphaba suddenly gets knocked to the ground by a horse. The rider turns out to be Prince Fiyero. Annoyed, Elphaba angrily insults him before storming away. The very next day, Fiyero joins Shiz University himself. He's the Prince of Winky Country, and because of his charm and looks, almost every girl at the university instantly falls for him. Glinda is no exception. She quickly starts flirting with him, and Fiyero clearly enjoys her company too. Soon, the two begin spending time together around campus. At one point, they even start singing and dancing inside the library, and before long, the rest of the students join in too. Meanwhile, a student named Bach asks Glinda if she'd go to the dance with him, but Glinda actually wants to attend with Fiyero instead. So, to politely avoid hurting Bach's feelings, she convinces him to ask Nessaros to the dance instead. Because Glinda suggested it, Bach agrees and invites Nessa. Nessa happily accepts and later tells Elphaba about it. Seeing her sister so excited makes Elphaba genuinely happy. That's why she decides to thank Glinda personally. Glinda then gives Elphaba a black hat that once belonged to her grandmother and says, "You should come to the Ozdust ballroom with us too." Then she walks away. For the first time, Elphaba starts thinking that maybe Glinda is actually a good person. So later, Elphaba goes to Madame Morrible and asks her if Glinda can also be allowed into her special magic class. On the other side, Fiyero and the rest of the students arrive at the Ozdust ballroom by boat. The entire place is filled with music, lights, and dancing couples enjoying the night together. Suddenly, Madame Morrible arrives at the party. She walks straight toward Glinda, hands her a magic wand, and says, "Starting tomorrow, you may attend my magic seminar. I'm still not sure whether you'll ever become a real sorceress." Glinda's smile slowly fades, but Morrible continues. However, Elphaba insisted that if I didn't allow you into the class, then she wouldn't come either, and I simply can't afford to lose someone as talented as her. After saying that, Morrible leaves. A few moments later, Elphaba enters the ballroom. She's wearing a black dress, along with the black hat Glinda gave her. The second everyone notices her, the room goes quiet. Some students look uncomfortable, while others openly laugh at her appearance. Trying to hide how nervous she feels, Elphaba starts dancing awkwardly by herself, but the more she dances, the harder people laugh. Eventually, Elphaba's eyes begin filling with tears. Seeing this, Glinda suddenly feels guilty, so instead of standing there watching, she walks over to Elphaba and starts dancing beside her, in the exact same awkward way. Elphaba is completely stunned. Then slowly, one by one, the other students begin joining in too. For the first time, nobody is laughing at her anymore. Overwhelmed with emotion, Elphaba hugs Glinda tightly, and that moment becomes the true beginning of their friendship. Later that night, after the party ends, everyone returns to the university. While talking privately with Glinda, Elphaba finally opens up about her painful past. She explains that her father hated her green skin so much that he became terrified his second child might also be born green. Because of that fear, he constantly forced Elphaba's mother to eat milk flowers during pregnancy, believing it would prevent it from happening again. But instead, Nessarose was born unable to walk, and shortly after giving birth, Elphaba's mother died. Holding back tears, Elphaba says, "If I hadn't been born green, none of this would have happened. Maybe my mother would still be alive today." Glinda gently tells her, "Don't blame yourself for things that were never your fault." Then she says, "You can't keep living inside your past forever. And now that we're friends, I'll make sure people here treat you better." And slowly, because of Glinda, the students at Shiz finally begin respecting Elphaba more. The next day, Elphaba attends Dr. Dillamond's class again, but this time, he sadly announces that he's leaving the university. Elphaba is shocked and tries talking to him, but before she gets the chance, university guards suddenly arrive and drag Dr. Dillamond away by force. There's nothing she can do to stop them. Soon after, a new history professor enters the classroom to replace him. The professor then reveals a lion cub trapped inside a cage. He coldly explains that if animals are locked up from childhood, they'll never learn how to speak, and according to him, that would make Oz a much better place. Hearing this makes Elphaba furious. Suddenly, the poppy flowers nearby begin floating through the air. A strange powder spreads from the flowers across the room, causing every student and teacher to instantly fall asleep. Everyone collapses unconscious. Everyone except Elphaba and Fiyero. The two quickly grab the lion cub and escape together. Meanwhile, Madame Morrible secretly watches everything happen, and instead of being worried, she looks impressed. Right away, she writes a letter to the Great Wizard about Elphaba's incredible powers. Later, Fiyero takes the lion cub deep into the forest and sets him free. By now, Elphaba has started developing feelings for Fiyero, but she knows Glinda loves him too, so she keeps her feelings hidden inside her heart. The next day, an official message arrives at Shiz University from the Wizard of Oz himself. The wizard personally invites Elphaba to Emerald City. Elphaba can barely contain her excitement. Finally, the moment she's dreamed about her entire life has arrived. Soon, she and Glinda board a train together and travel to the magnificent Emerald City. After arriving, they celebrate with the people of the city, singing and dancing through the crowded streets before showing their invitation and entering the wizard's palace. Inside, a monkey servant leads them toward the wizard, but when they enter the chamber, they're greeted by a giant floating mechanical head. The enormous face booms loudly, "I am Oz. Who are you, and why have you come searching for me?" Since the wizard doesn't yet realize she's Elphaba, she nervously introduces herself. Then suddenly, the real wizard steps out from behind the giant machine and warmly greets her in person. While cheerfully singing, he tells Elphaba that together, the two of them could completely change Oz. No one would have to suffer anymore. We could make everyone happy. Just then, Madame Morrible also arrives. She introduces Elphaba to an ancient magical book called the Grimoire, a sacred book filled with powerful spells. As Elphaba approaches it, something incredible happens. The Grimoire suddenly opens on its own. Neither Morrible nor the wizard can read the strange magical language written inside it, but Elphaba can read every word perfectly. As she begins speaking one of the spells aloud, the monkey servant, Chistery, suddenly screams in pain. Huge wings burst out from his back. Elphaba is horrified seeing him suffer like that. She quickly asks Madame Marable if they can reverse the spell and help Chistery, but Marable calmly replies, "I'm sorry, but once magic from the Grimmery is cast, it can never be undone." Disturbed, Elphaba rushes toward another room and discovers several more monkeys, painfully growing wings as well. Their screams echo throughout the chamber. Seeing them suffer breaks Elphaba's heart, but while she's horrified, the wizard and Madame Morrible are excited. They reveal that the flying monkeys will become spies for the government. With their help, they explain, we'll finally be able to keep an eye on all the animals in Oz. Hearing all this, Elphaba is completely shocked. She realizes the truth and says, "So it was you all along. You're the reason animals have been disappearing from Oz. Because of you, people started fearing and hating them." The wizard calmly responds, "When I first arrived here, Oz was full of chaos." Then he explains that he learned something very important. If you want to unite people, you first need to give them a common enemy. And as long as everyone fears the same enemy, they'll stay together. Elphaba is disgusted by what she's hearing. She tells the wizard to read the Grimmery himself if he's truly so powerful, but the wizard can't even understand the language written inside the book. That's when Elphaba finally realizes the full truth. You don't have any real powers at all. You've just been fooling everyone with machines and tricks, and while pretending to be great and powerful, you slowly made the animals disappear so nobody would ever discover who you really are. The wizard quietly admits that she's right, but instead of denying it, he offers Elphaba a place by his side. He tells her, "I want you to join me. Together, we can still control everything." Then he even adds, "If you want, your friend can join us too." But Elphaba refuses immediately. She grabs the Grimmery and runs away. At the same time, Madame Morrible turns to Glinda and says, "If you can convince Elphaba to come back, I'll help make you a real sorceress." Hearing this, Glinda rushes after Elphaba. Meanwhile, the wizard and Morrible order the flying monkey army and the city guards to capture her at any cost. The monkeys begin attacking Elphaba throughout the palace. Trying to escape, Elphaba and Glinda make their way to the top of a tower. There, they attempt to flee using a hot air balloon, but before they can escape, the guards seal the rooftop exits. The balloon suddenly bursts, leaving the two trapped with nowhere to go, so they quickly hide inside another room. Meanwhile, Madame Morrible spreads an announcement across all of Emerald City. She tells the citizens that a dangerous witch has stolen the sacred Grimmery. According to her, this witch used dark magic to transform innocent monkeys into monsters. She is a wicked and dangerous witch, Morrible declares, and she must be stopped. Hearing the entire city turn against her breaks Elphaba emotionally. She starts crying. Glinda tries comforting her and says, "You don't need to be afraid. If you just apologize to them, everything can still be fixed. You could still become a great wizard someday." But Elphaba finally stands her ground. "I'm not afraid anymore. Now the wizard is the one who should fear me." Then she continues emotionally, "My whole life, I dreamed of meeting him, and now because of him, I'm forced to hide like a criminal. Animals across Oz suffered because of him. They were locked in cages, silenced, treated like monsters, and I'm not turning back now." After saying this, Elphaba begins reading another spell from the Grimmery. Suddenly, an ordinary broom nearby transforms into a flying broomstick. Elphaba then asks Glinda to come with her. Glinda places a black cape around Elphaba's shoulders and prepares to leave with her. For a brief moment, the two friends sing together about their friendship and everything they've been through. But suddenly, the city guards break through the doors and grab Glinda. To escape, Elphaba jumps straight off the tower. As she falls, the flying broom slips from her hands. Terrified, she begins plummeting toward the ground. But in that moment, memories from her childhood flash through her mind. All the pain, the bullying, the loneliness, and every moment people treated her like a monster because of her green skin. And finally, Elphaba stops running from herself. For the first time in her life, she fully accepts who she is. Her fear disappears. She regains control of the broomstick and rises into the sky. The flying monkeys chase after her, trying to capture her, but Elphaba escapes them all and flies away into the darkness. Meanwhile, Madame Morrible manipulates Glinda and brings her over to their side. Then, across all of Oz, the news spreads that Elphaba is now the Wicked Witch. When Governor Throp hears this shocking news, he suffers a heart attack and dies. And with that, the movie comes to an end. If you enjoyed this recap, subscribe for more amazing stories and share this video with your friends.